So, I've noticed two icky situations that people have a hard time dealing with for now. One is situations where we're not understood. So, we either over explain ourselves or just give up and avoid the situation entirely. Two, when we're trying to communicate our boundaries to someone, we tend to assume that they should say yes to them or they don't care. But over the course of years, I've learned a few helpful things when it comes to dealing with situations like this. Firstly, you need to be okay being misunderstood. It doesn't mean you withhold communication in the first place, but this is when you've already communicated, but it isn't getting through, or the person agrees to things in the moment, which later their actions don't back up. So just remind yourself that it's okay to be misunderstood. You don't owe an explanation to anybody. You don't have to keep teaching someone what you mean, okay, and what you expect of them. So just remind yourself that it's okay to be misunderstood, especially when your communication is not landing. And this is not to blame the other person, but it's just what it is, you know? Incompatibility. Okay, now, secondly, if you're in a situation where you cannot communicate your boundaries safely, then please try to physically remove yourself from such an environment. But if you can't, due to various reasons, then try implementing silent boundaries. What this means is if the person is saying things that's disrespectful or just putting you down and you cannot get up and leave, you cannot just speak out because it leads to situations you don't want to be in, then at least in your head, start saying things like, hey, that's their opinion, not a fact. I know myself. Or that's their experience, but not my reality. They're wrong about me. I can do whatever I put my mind to. Things like that. Okay. And this is all about emotional boundaries. Like when someone is emotionally draining you. If someone is physically hurting you, please, please remove yourself from that environment. Okay. Even if they're emotionally, mentally hurting you, try to remove yourself from that environment. Okay. With that said, try to put silent boundaries in your head. You can look up different silent boundaries, things you can say in your head. And yeah, that's how you put silent boundaries. Also, remember in situations where like both parties are emotional, prioritize yourself. Walk away before you try to over explain yourself or just react. Just walk away and prioritize navigating through your own emotions first. Remember, especially if you're dealing with adults, they have the option and ability to navigate through their emotions too, to learn to navigate at least. But if they choose not to learn it, then that's not your responsibility, okay? It's just different people are at different journeys, so try to respect and accept that and move on to focusing on yourself and your journey. Point number 3. So this is when you're communicating a boundary, but the other person cannot adhere to it. It can be things like, hey, I don't like cursing, so can you not curse around me anymore? And they are like a person who curses normally, they've done it for years, you don't want to change that. That's okay. Someone can say no to your boundary. See, always remember boundaries aren't meant to control people's actions or words, but it's meant to protect yourself. So, in cases someone says, hey, I don't think so, I can do that, then let them know the consequence. Like, okay, then. So if you do curse around me, I might walk away till I'm comfortable enough to come back into the conversation again. Or things like that. Okay? So yeah, offer a consequence. But, but, if it's a deal breaker boundary, then I'm sorry, you need to accept that you're just not compatible with the other person. You don't have to cut them off completely, but try to put some safe distance with them that you're comfortable interacting with without it costing you your mental or physical health. And mind you, this will hurt, but it's the best thing to do for yourself and the other person. So, yeah, These are a couple of icky situations I've come across and thought I'll share how I navigate through them in a helpful way.